If you're an AI automation freelancer that's been struggling to land clients, this video is for you. I'm going to show you how to build an automated, personalized cold email system that can increase your reply rates 10x. I help freelancers earn more while working less by transitioning to AI consultants and by leveraging their results, even if they think they don't have any. If you're ready to leave the hourly pay behind and build a high-ticket AI consulting business, click the first link down below and book a call with me. And if you're intrigued but not ready for a call, join my free school community. Now let's dive in. Research shows that personalized cold emails, meaning personalized subjects and first lines, drastically improve open rates, reply rates, and conversions. But personalizing emails takes forever, especially at scale. Imagine the time it would take to pull a list of 5,000 leads, check their LinkedIn, write down all of the relevant info, compose the email, and then send it. That would be brutal. But the good news is AI automation freelancers know their way around n8n, and so you can build this exact system that I'm showing you and start using it today. And just to forewarn you, this system is not free, meaning the platforms involved in building it are paid platforms. So if you're serious about landing a client and don't want to spend hours of your life to do so, you're going to need to invest. And so if that's not for you, just feel free to skip this one. But for the rest of you, this system generates up to 5,000 leads per month at a cost of just 3.1 cents per lead. And if you wanted to scale that up even further, you could cut that cost in half. Okay, this is the personalized cold email system that we're going to be building. So right now, I just have it connected to a manual trigger. I could put it like on a timer or something like that, but right now manual is totally fine. The reason being, I'm pulling a list of hundreds or thousands of leads from Apollo, and so I can really just run this when I need to. I don't need to have it triggered automatically. But what that is going to do, it's going to grab the information that I've uploaded into a Google Sheet, which is going to look like this. So right now I just have this test row in there, but it's going to have first name, last name, email address, location, and then LinkedIn URL. And then all of these other columns at the top are going to be populated by the workflow. So it's going to loop over the items one at a time, request their LinkedIn profile. So it's actually scraping all of the information from their LinkedIn profile. Then it's going to add personalization. So personalized cold emails have a exponentially higher open rate and response rate rather than just, templated emails that don't have any personalization whatsoever. So once that personalization takes place, it's going to update the Google Sheet. It's going to wait for a few seconds, and then it's going to add that lead to an instantly campaign. And then it's just going to continue to loop through each lead one at a time to create a personalized email for them and then add them to the campaign and then send that email. Okay, so we're going to start by just adding that manual trigger, and then we're going to add a Google Sheets node, and we're going to get row in sheet. Okay, so I'm going to trigger that just so we can get some data in here. Okay, so you can see that Lindsay Gonzalez, example one that I put in there, has come through, and I'm going to go ahead and pin that just to make it easy for us to move the data throughout this workflow. Okay, now I'm going to add the loop over items node. So we're splitting this into batches just so that it's a little bit easier for it to process one by one. I'm going to leave the batch size as 1 and then connect that to my Google Sheet node. Then I'll push that data through. All right, next we're going to add an HTTP node, and this is going to connect to a platform called Lead Magic. So if we come over to Lead Magic, I've already signed up for an account, but to get your API key, which is what we need, we're going to come over here to the lower left-hand corner, Lead Magic, click API keys. And then you can click this copy button and save that for later because we are going to need it for this HTTP node. Okay, so this is going to be a post request, and this is going to api.leadmagic.io/profile-search. So again, this is going to actually go to the link that we're providing it, the LinkedIn profile, and then it's going to scrape all of the information from that so that we can use that for personalization. Okay, so we want to send headers, and we're going to set to application. The T key on my keyboard is stuck, so if you see me mistyping the letter T, you know why. But the value is going to be application/JSON, and then we're also going to add our API key in here. So this one's a little bit differently formatted than like the standard authorization bearer that you might see. So this is capital X dash capital API dash capital K in key. And then you're going to paste your API key in the value box. Okay, we're also going to be sending body, and it's going to be body content type JSON using the fields below. So the body parameters, the name that we want to capture is profile URL. And we're going to worry about mapping that value in just a second. And the last thing we're going to do is add the option for redirects. So we do want to follow redirects. You can just leave it set as 21. And we're going to attach this to the loop branch of our loop over items. And now we're able to come in here and link the LinkedIn URL, which is what we need for the profile URL here in the value box. So we'll just drag that over. Okay, next we're going to message a model. So I'm going to use OpenAI. You can use whatever you would like if you have an LLM of choice, but I'm going to just select message a model. Make sure that you have it connected to your OpenAI credential, and I'm just going to select GPT-4o latest. Okay, so we're going to have a user prompt, and we're also going to have a system prompt. So I'm going to change this to system. And then we also want to instruct it to output the content as JSON. And we're going to specify in our system prompt how we want that to be formatted. So let's go ahead and enter our system prompt in here. I'm going to expand this so you can see it better. Okay, so this is where I'm going to give it specific instructions. And honestly, the quality of the cold email personalization that you get is going to be dependent on the quality of the system instructions that you craft. So I just want to take you through my thought process on this because I think it's important, and you're also going to need to know how to customize this for your own use case. So your task is to personalize a cold email using a LinkedIn profile as input. You will fill in 5 short sections of an email: subject line, icebreaker, elevator pitch, call to action, and PS. Also, shout out to Nick Sariev, who I kind of loosely adapted this system from. He's a fantastic AI creator and has fantastic ideas that generate real income, so go follow him if you have not already. But your audience is installation business owners and contractors. You're pitching an automation system that uses AI to contact new leads instantly and book appointments automatically. Use this real case study in the elevator pitch. I built an AI voice agent for an installation company that contacts Angie leads within 1 minute and added $116,000 in booked revenue. Here are the email templates to personalize. Replace the text in braces using context from the LinkedIn profile or your own best guess. And so then it's personalizing the subject line, the icebreaker, which is really like the hyper personalized part of the email. So notice you're running things over at company name. Looks like you've been doing cool things with business activity. So maybe that's spray foam, or maybe that's, offering a new product or service, whatever it is, but it's going to glean that information from the LinkedIn profile. And we have the elevator pitch. So really short and sweet, really concise, and getting to what the benefit is to the business owner that's hopefully reading this email. So I built an AI voice agent for an installation company that contacts Angie leads in under 60 seconds, added $116,000 in book jobs. I think we could probably do something similar for you at your business name. And then call to action. So the system runs 24/7 and books calls while you're on site. We could test it out risk-free. If it doesn't book at least 20 legit appointments, you don't pay. So really making it a no-brainer, or at least enticing the business owner to have some interest in this because it's taking the risk off the table for them. And then the PS statement. So PS, even if this isn't a fit, would love to hear how you're working with Angie in your city or region. Then it's going to define some variables. So first name is their first name, example, Mark. Company name is their current company name, example, EcoSeal Insulation. I instructed it to shorten the business name so it sounds like you didn't just repeat the business name verbatim. So EcoSeal Insulation becomes EcoSeal. Johnson Insulation LLC becomes Johnson. Like, we really want it to sound like it was written by a human and not just copying and pasting from the LinkedIn profile. Like, if you're referring to a business, you never would refer to them as, Johnson Insulation Inc. or Johnson Insulation LLC. Like, that's weird. So you really want to kind of give it that additional bit of information in its instructions so that it knows to abbreviate or shorten or, use different capitalization or that type of a thing. So it seems like a human wrote it and maybe had a typo. So the specific business thing is something specific or notable about their business. Could be Angie leads, Yelp reviews, booking speed, lead flow, spray foam work, etc. Business activity. So what they seem focused on based on their title, description, or posts. For example, lead generation. Lead source or platform, a common platform they may be using for leads, default to something like Angie, Yelp, Thumbtack, or Home Advisor. I'm actually going to take out Home Advisor because that is the same thing as Angie. City or region is their city or service area. If not available, just use your area. And then if any of these variables are missing, use a safe fallback like specific business thing, lead flow, or business activity generating new business. So it's giving some examples. So it's not hallucinating details, but it's giving it like really safe fallbacks that are kind of generic and general for all businesses. Write like you're talking to a contractor at a bar, casual, short sentences, low pressure. Subject line must be lowercase, no emojis, no fancy corporate words. Always paraphrase LinkedIn data. Don't copy text exactly. Make it sound human, like a one-on-one message, not a sales sequence. Focus on how this helps them book jobs and save time, not AI for its own sake. And then return your final output in this exact JSON format. So these are all of the variables that we need it to create for us. So we want it to be structured in this way so that we can map it when it comes down to creating the email. So that's kind of a deep dive into the system instructions for what we're doing here. Okay, so I'm going to pull the data through the HTTP node. Okay, and now I'm going to open this up. Okay, and then for the prompt, basically I want to take all of the information that I pulled from the HTTP request. And so what I'm going to do is enter this expression. So it's the double curly braces, $ JSON to JSON string with J and S. Basically, it's in camel case, parentheses, and then the closed curly braces. And the reason for that is it will bring in all of the information without me having to manually drag and drop everything from here one at a time. So that's just a short way to bring everything over without having to do all that work manually. Okay, so once the model has created that output, so I'm just going to go ahead and run it through here for our example use case, then we're going to update the Google Sheet. So we want to come back to Google Sheets, and we're going to update a row in a sheet. Okay, so once again, going to make sure it's connected to the right Google credential. I'm going to update the row, select the Google Sheet, which is my personalized email list, and it's sheet 1. Now it's asking for a column to match on. So I'm going to use email because that's going to be the one identifier that's unique. Like first name might be the same, last name might be the same, but we're going to use email because that's going to be unique for each record that's in our Google Sheet. Okay, and then I'm going to come back over to my first Google Sheets node, and I'm going to drag this email across, and that's what's being used to match. Then I don't need to worry about name, last name, location, or LinkedIn URL because that's what I already included when I uploaded the list from Apollo. I do want to open up the HTTP request node, and I do want to map some of this stuff across. So if I scroll down to where it says about, I want to drag that over for about. And then I'm going to scroll back up for output from the message and model node, and I'm going to just drag and drop this stuff over. So I have the subject line, the icebreaker, I have the elevator pitch, the call to action, and the PS. And then the rest of the stuff on here is going to come straight from the HTTP request node for Lead Magic. So public identifier, headline, scroll down to user skills, the company name, company size, company industry with company LinkedIn URL, company website, so on and so forth. Basically, this is just giving me ammunition so that if they respond, if I get them on a call, I have all of their information in one place so that I can really quickly do a little bit of research on them and do my due diligence prior to jumping on a call with them. Okay, so let's execute that step and make sure that it updates our Google Sheet. Okay, so if we come over here, you can check out this row. So we see everything got mapped over, so we are good to go there. Okay, so now we are going to add a wait step. And this is mainly because I don't know what all of the API limits are for what the next node is going to be. So I literally just built this workflow, finished it yesterday. So I haven't had the time to kind of do my due diligence and check what the API rate limits and stuff are. So I'm just doing this kind of for, safety and protection of my account. But we're going to add that wait step. It's 5 seconds. And then we're going to connect this to instantly. And we're going to scroll down to lead actions and add lead to campaign. All right, so I already have it connected to my instantly credential. I'm going to select the campaign, which is installation companies. And now what I need to map are email, first name, last name, and personalization. So it's a cool trick that I'm going to show you for the personalization, which is how we're going to be able to do this at scale. But let's come back to the canvas and go through our wait step, and then we can go ahead and add the lead to the campaign, and this will almost wrap up this workflow. Okay, so now we're just going to map across email, first name, last name, and we will get to personalization in just 1 sec. So we could just grab this from the wait step, and then I can come down to my first Google Sheet node, the one right after my trigger, and that's where I can get the first and last name from. Okay, and then I'm going to open up the message and model node, and that's how I'm going to map the personalization. So basically what we're going to do with this, the way instantly is set up, there is a personalization variable that you can input into your email campaign. So that personalization you can feed in via API, and it will change that line to add your personalization however you define it systematically. And then below that, if you want to have it all templatized, you can do that as well. I'm actually going to personalize kind of every aspect of this. And so I'm going to use the entire body of the email as personalization. So you'll see what I mean in just a sec. So I'm going to say, hey, And then I'm going to scroll down to their name, their first name. And then I'm going to go to the message and model node, open that back up. And then I'm just going to start adding things. So I'm going to add my icebreaker, my elevator pitch, call to action. And then I'm going to add my sign off. So I'm just going to put Lindsay. And then I'm going to drag in my PS. So this looks pretty good. But what we need to do is actually add some HTML, because otherwise it's just going to come off as crazy. Like the spacing is just going to be, it's one solid sentence as opposed to being spaced out like a normal email, like a human wrote it. So I'm just going to copy and paste this, ask ChatGPT to add in HTML tags so that it looks like an email that was written by a real human. And then I'm going to paste that back into my expression box. Okay, so I have the new expression crafted by ChatGPT, which looks like this. So you can see over here on the right, really nothing changed, but it's going to make a big difference when we go ahead and send the actual email to the lead, and you'll get to see what that looks like in just 1 sec. Okay, so before we add the lead to the campaign, what I want to do is link this connector from the Instantly node and have it connect all the way back to loop over items. So this is the loop that it's going to do one at a time with each individual lead until it gets all the way through every item in our list from our Google Sheet. So at this point, I can run this last node. So I will click run. Okay, so the node executed successfully. And if I come over to Instantly and refresh the page, then I can see Lindsay at example.com has come through as a lead. Right now, my campaign is active. If I click this, it will pause the campaign, but right now it's active. But what it's going to do is it's going to check my email provider, check the email security gateway, and then the status will change to sent once the email has been sent. Okay, and so this is the email that I sent yesterday. Obviously, I can't send to Lindsay at example.com, but hey, Lindsay, noticed you're running things over at Automate AI Consulting. So this was actually using my LinkedIn profile, but it looks like you've been doing cool stuff with generating new business because that's what's on my LinkedIn profile. I built an AI voice agent for an installation company that contacts Angie leads in under 60 seconds, yada, yada, yada. So obviously I am going to be using this in real life to target installation companies and try to sell them an AI voice agent that contacts Angie leads. So maybe this isn't the best example that, connects apples to apples in terms of their actual LinkedIn profile being an installation company, but I think you get the idea. But the spacing looks good. And after I sent this, I actually went back and changed it so there are no M dashes. If you include M dashes in your copy, it's a dead giveaway that it's written by AI. So I went ahead and changed that so it's 3 dots or a comma instead of those M dashes. But that is the end-to-end process. So really quickly, I want to show you how you can add leads in here. I use Apollo. You don't have to, but my time is valuable. And so $59 a month for the cost of Apollo in order to grab as many leads as I want, essentially, is well worth my time. So once you sign up for an Apollo account, you want to come over to people, and then you can determine who it is that you want to reach out to. So for me, I am targeting verified emails. I'm looking for job titles where it's the owner, the founder, the CEO, partner, something that indicates they're in, like they're the head honcho or they're able to make a leadership decision in their organization. I want them located in the United States. And then I'm just running it right now between 1 to 10, 11 to 20, and 21 to 50 employees. And the company keyword, so the name of the company contains the word insulation. That's going to be pretty restrictive because sometimes insulation companies don't have the word insulation in their name, but that's just what I'm running it for this kind of test right now. So once you have your list of leads, then you can click this box to select all. If you don't have a paid account, if you have the free version, then you can only select 25 leads at a time. So technically you could get away with not having the paid version of Apollo, but I'm not about to go through 10 pages of results or 11 pages to individually pull them, like that's a waste of my time. But I'll click apply, and now I can click export and it will send me a CSV. And this is in the exact kind of order that I need these columns in. So name, email, location, and then LinkedIn. But like I said, you can get leads from anywhere, but you just need to make sure you have their first and last name, their email address, their location, and their LinkedIn. Really, location is kind of not that important to pull from the lead list. You can get that from their LinkedIn, but certainly name, email, LinkedIn. So coming back over to Instantly, one thing I want to point out with the sequences, this is basically how you're going to be sending them an email. So right now I have it set up where it has the personalized first name. So it's going to say, Lindsay, Bob, whatever, quick idea for your lead flow. And then this is the personalization variable that I mentioned. So when n8n sends this personalization expression, that is going to translate across here and instantly. And that's what is going to generate the full body of the email. So the greeting all the way down to the PS. But that is the basic gist of how to build an automated personalized email follow-up system for cold email outreach. So yes, I will be using this in real life. I will keep you apprised of how it goes, and you do the same. So if you have any questions about what we built, or if you have any updates about getting new clients, getting responses, that kind of thing, put it in the comments down below because I'd love to hear it. Now you know how to actually get your message in front of the right people and massively increase your odds of booking appointments and landing clients. If you're ready to start building your own high-ticket AI consulting business, click the first link down below and book a call. Otherwise, join my free school community. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.